first guest is registered dietitian and host of the web series Fiorella Eats. Today, she'll give us tips on how you can make healthier choices at summer parties. We welcome back Fiorella DiCarlo.
Hi,
Good morning.
You. Thanks.
So you're going to give us some tips about summer parties and keeping it healthy.
Yes, because it can kind of go sideways, I mean, my clients are always saying to me, like after the weekend is over, it's like Monday morning comes and they're exhausted and they're tired and they have no energy. What's going on? It must be the sun, it must be the heat. Well, it's also what you do during the weekends that's going to affect you.
I can see that, yeah.
Yeah, and so I think that there are different ways to navigate these parties that sometimes people don't take into consideration right away because, the temperature is hotter, and so there's a lot of stuff that goes on with that as well that creates a certain element in the body that one has to pay attention to.
Right.
So in the parties, what I've noticed the most, particularly if it's a beach party or even an outside party, those are the ones that you really have to pay attention to, and you have to make sure that you're staying hydrated.
Absolutely.
Through the whole event. Some people underestimate that, and sometimes our signals for our thirst cues and our hunger cues get mixed up. So when people feel thirsty, they munch instead.
Right.
And then when they end up munching on little snacks around in the party, usually they're salty snacks, what makes them
more
further
thirsty.
Right. So it kind of ends up becoming really, really dehydrated. So I say to everyone, you need to take in at least 2 liters-ish of water a day, depending on if you're doing activity or not, and depending, of course, on your body size. But at least to keep that consistent when you're out in the sun. I would say, drink water or flavored waters that, don't have a lot of sugar in it, not having too many processed juices.
You mean the beer's not going to get me through?
Not going to get you through. I mean, it's going to make you a little happy, but it's not going to. Right, it's and a lot of people do drink these juices and colas and so forth, and in fact, they're packed with sugar and salt. So what they're doing is they're also making you thirstier as well. So it's better just to drink water, or my sister just made this great watermelon infused water with mint in it, which I have on my website the recipe for it. So that's like pretty cool to keep you hydrated.
Watermelon and mint, that sounds pretty good. Yeah, my friend of mine just started doing, he has these little mason jars. He's putting like strawberries, pineapples in different jars. So now he has all these flavored waters to use.
Beautiful.
For himself, but you can also use them for parties, right?
Absolutely. You can make big jugs of it, cut up the fruit, have it infused, sit there with ice for a couple of hours, and you have this really refreshing drink for your guests,
So outside of staying hydrated and drinking in the sun, how about our time in the sun?
Yeah, so the sun is, can be very damaging. It's also very dehydrating. So, you definitely should be wearing sunscreen no matter what, And also watch when you're out in the sun, also the alcohol intake, right? Because in of itself, the alcohol is very dehydrative as well. And what it does is as people become more dehydrated while drinking, they get tipsier quicker, And so around the party time, when they're getting, tipsier quicker, they start to mindlessly eat. So they start munching on a lot of stuff before they even get to the main course.
And you end up sitting around a lot too. Because you can become lethargic underneath the sun.
Absolutely.
Dehydrated, so you don't want to move around too much, and then you're eating.
Right. And some people don't, it suddenly strikes them and they can pass out or faint, and it's like, oh my goodness, I was feeling okay, and then suddenly it hits them, So it's good to watch the alcohol in moderation, nurse your drinks, make sure that within each alcoholic beverage you follow it by water, so you stay hydrated. And it also curbs your mindless eating, as like some of the snacks that are out that then may not be the healthiest during the parties.
So you have to have a water chaser.
I think so, yeah, that would really help out.
I like that.
Yeah.
So what about if you're applying fruits and vegetables to these parties?
Yes, so you go to a party, and most of the parties are barbecue. That's what we do in the summer, right? And what are the main stars of these barbecues?
Ribs and chicken.
That's what I'm saying, right? Ribs, chicken. I just spent the entire weekend at a ribs festival downtown. Actually, it was fantastic.
Was it good though?
It was really good. It was really good. There were pit masters from all over the country coming, so it was great. But so here are the main things, right? You have the burgers, you have the ribs, you have the chicken, you have all this great stuff, right? So why fill up the rest of the party with like kind of riff-raff and chips,
We're looking at like parfaits, I think, over here.
Yes,
that looks delicious. I want some of that.
Well, my tip is like keep that stuff there, the barbecue stuff, But for your appetizers, grill some vegetables, make vegetable skewers, make bruschetta with, vegetables over them that have been grilled, like beautiful seasonal summer vegetables over there, instead of the old chips and dips, that people just munch on for no reason. And then afterwards, the other thing you can do is grab the parfaits or get the fruits. You can do mango, you can do watermelon, you can do pineapple, peaches on the grill.
Really?
Right, grill them. They're beautiful. You just put a little honey on them, a little drizzle of honey, put them on the grill. They're delicious. And then after you're done with that, you just some whipped cream over it and you have a summer dessert. So you have your vegetables, your fruit, and your ribs.
I wouldn't have thought to put peaches on a grill, though. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's really good. You can do a lot of grilling with fruits, particularly in the summer. People take advantage of that, and you can just chop them up and put them. And it creates, if you add them to your other vegetables or salads, it adds a very, very smoky flavor to it as well. So it kind of accompanies all of the other proteins, like the ribs and the steaks, very, very well.
Is there a way, though, that we can keep our fruits and vegetables a little bit more crisp? Because, you have them out in the sun in these barbecues, and the humidity kind of makes them wilt, then you don't want to eat them because they just don't look appetizing anymore.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, depending on what you do, for example, if you're making a beautiful salad, right, don't dress that salad until your guests are about to eat it, right? Because if you dress it, then it gets really wilty. It takes on the moisture and it starts to collapse. So keep everything nice and crisp in the refrigerator, pull out the bowl, then dress it just when the guests are about to have it,
Right.
And then all of the other stuff too, even the grilled vegetables, you can grill all of that in advance and put them in, in your refrigerator in Tupperwares and pull them out the day of. They keep very, very well. And grilling is a very quick cooking technique for vegetables, which keeps all of the vitamins in, much like steaming and sautéing. You don't want to overcook your vegetables because it loses the vitamins out of them.
And also the consistency, right? A lot of people have problems with the consistency in vegetables, and if you overcook it, then it becomes wilty.
Yes, and it's just unattractive.
Unattractive, loses flavor, all of that.
Absolutely.
I have in my information, I was telling you off camera, that I really like this last line: get in touch with your food, touch it, smell it, love it, cook it.
Yeah.
That's such a great way to say, get involved with your food.
Yeah, because my philosophy is that there's too many people disconnected from their food sources, right? Nowadays, who brings their food to them? Their delivery guy, and that's their first point of contact, And so, and within that, there's a lot of processed food. So I say, get back out to nature, go to your farmers markets, go out there. I think we have a farmers market segment coming up after. Yeah. So that's great, right in the Bronx. You go out there, touch your food, smell it, feel it, and you can be very creative with it, right? Seasonal fruits are the highest in vitamins all season long, and you can make great things with it, And I say, don't make your vegetables boring, right? Dress it like a salad. You should not have steamed vegetables. You cook your vegetables, you dress it like a salad, put some Parmesan cheese over it, and there you go.
You sold me with the cheese.
That's it.
There it is. Thank you so much for your time. We'll have to take a quick break, but coming up, we'll get a preview of how community groups have come together for a cause. But first, Borough President Ruben Diaz Jr. and community groups came together to induct the inaugural class of the Bronx Jewish Hall of Fame. Correspondent Yela Juberes was at the Bronx Museum and brings us the story.